All right, I'd like to start public session. I ask that speakers come up to the microphone, state your name and address, and try to keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. I have one person signed up to speak. That's Larry Klotzko.
Hello again. I'm Larry Klotzko from Water Street. I spoke 2 weeks ago, and I haven't had much luck persuading the city to remove the plan to put a blockade against the Market House property. But once again, I would like to say to you aldermen who seem to vote on these projects, I was told initially that this was voted for and approved by all of the people involved, which was the mayor, the alderman, and Tom Kells, who told me that initially. The plan that they're going to do is going to have a blockade of wheelchair ramping at the highest elevation in the Water Street parking lot, that the Market House, that has had vehicular traffic for almost 2 centuries, 164 years, the Market House has had vehicular traffic. It was the main public building in 1836 when Oswego was booming, and they thought it might be a bigger town than Albany and might dwarf Buffalo. It also, it housed the courts, the sheriff's office, the jail. It's historically very significant. I've tried my hardest to fix what I could on it over the years, and this plan is making it so that if I do find some people that want to invest in it to help me maybe develop the buildings in it, seemingly an apparent thing that has to occur in the city because all the other buildings are getting either fixed up, the facades have all been fixed up, they're putting $800,000 into taking parking away from my area and blocking access to my yard, at the same time giving $1 million to a restaurant to compete in the neighborhood, which I think is great. I think Adam Avery is a great worker, and he'll have a very nice place, and it's always good to have $1 million to help you. I would love $1 million, and I buy lottery tickets, and if I ever win, I'll certainly fix the Market House. But I would like the aldermen that are here tonight, and the mayor, and the city attorney who I've called but haven't got a return call. The mayor was too busy to talk to me, and Justin Rudrick from Community Development and Tim Stahl, I believe, I called and left messages. I tried to get meetings with these people. The Market House should have vehicular access to at least its backyard. A few reasons. The main reason being that in the wintertime, when it's illegal to park in the parking lot, that we were assessed the major amount of money from any private donor when the city erected it in 1980. We also were assessed money for the parking lot in 1968 that is behind Greens that had, I think, 94 or 96 parking spots. We only had 53, and that's being reduced now because of the pocket park and the street narrowing and the sidewalk expansion. But the wheelchair ramp is redundant. There is one at the far end of the parking lot now. There is a wheelchair ramp that goes from Water Street to the linear park. If that had to be augmented a little bit, it would be far cheaper to do that. And we do have trucks that weigh 20,000 pounds, or I'm sorry, 20 tons. 40,000 pound trucks. Truckload of gravel weighs 40,000 pounds. We have to put gravel down because we get firewood and we get deliveries with beer trucks in the warm weather that go to ground level. Our cellar is 1 story below the height of Water Street. So we're a 4-story building on the river, we're a 3-story building on the Water Street side, and I am begging the council to enter into a meeting where we can discuss a possible change so that I don't have to have my happiness and pursuit of happiness interfered with by the misery of the city blocking my access to the yard. I've had access for 40 years. Our guys use that. I was told by Tom Kells they don't hardly use it, but I've been on Water Street every day for the past 40 years, other than in '94 I took a week off. So I would really like to try to come to some kind of arrangement where we could have a compromise that the city could still have their whatever project it's doing, but we could still have access to our yard. Right now the plan is that They're telling me that if I do get access to my yard, I have to take 2 sets of wheelchair railings off, drive in, make my delivery, put these back on, take them off, drive out, and leave them replaced when I leave. This is nonsense. In the wintertime when the snow is there, there's no realistic way that this can happen. We need access so the trucks could bring 50-plus tons of goods to our property. And no one in Oswego has had the city block their property. We had 400 feet of frontage where we could get deliveries prior to this park project. The Water Street is being narrowed to the same width as Northwest 9th Street. There is no loading zone in front of the Market House. We have daily deliveries in busy season 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. Not tractor trailers necessarily, maybe a box of lemons from Sea Farms or something from Davis Brothers or something from Dorsey. And we need access to our property. We can't have our guy that comes to pump the oil, the fryer oil that we have a thing that's hooked to it so that all the oil is separated from the water. It must be pumped out regularly. Our truck needs to be able to back in there without hindrance. We have garbage in the summertime that the garbage guy backs into the backyard, and he takes many hundreds of pounds of garbage. We have a reasonable gripe and request. And I heard that the city recently had asked National Grid to bury the electric lines because it wasn't in part of this $800,000 plan. I think it's a great idea. I thought it was a great idea back in 1976. And again, they've done the street 14 times since I've been there. This is the 15th time they're digging the street up. Some of the sewer covers that are storm sewers actually don't connect to any drain pipes. I didn't look at the plans close enough yet to see if they're going to connect that to drainage when the drainage happens. But the way they're boxing in the Market House, they're putting walls at the linear park so that when the snow comes down the steps they're planning to build and gets trapped from the roof that it sheds from the patio that it's shoveled off of, where we used to be able to plow it out of the way and the city and us could cooperate and get rid of it, they're leaving a situation that conceivably with heavy snowfall can box us in so we cannot get to our property in emergency times. Not just fire and safety, but we have internal building problems. If a furnace or a boiler goes and we need to get maintenance trucks in there to fix them, we call them, they come 24-hour service, and they're going to get there and find these railings there that are blocking access with snow problems that could develop. We need to have a dialogue. I've been told that it's almost futile to talk at this level of trying to communicate with the city, but I have no other way to do it. I was told by a lawyer to enter into discussion. It was really a $30,000 retainer to do with takings law. I don't want to go to litigation. I don't want to fight with the city. I want to fix the Market House and add to the beauty of the city, and I would like some assistance. And I would like the aldermen that are here to, I don't know if someone could bring up a resolution to meet with Larry about the Market House so that we can have access to our property. And I don't know everybody that's here, and I do have good intentions for Water Street. I don't think anyone loves it more than me, and I don't think anyone loves the Market House more than I do. I would like to see it fixed up the way the railroad had it in the 1860s after the Unification War. They put a mansard roof on, just like this roof is, so that the ice doesn't shed off the two gables on the north and south side, so that people could enter with impunity in the wintertime and not worry about shed. It was an intelligent thing to do. The railroad had deep pockets. They also, by the way, built that track that used to go to the tunnel that went to the railroad building on Utica Street. And the reason that didn't continue is because they failed to dredge the river enough to have the trade that they wanted, and they had requested a Syracuse-Oswego Railroad in the 1870s that never came to fruition, so that plan never got as far as the owner of the railroad wanted it to. And I think the city got a 999-year lease or something like that for the properties that the railroad used to own along the waterfront. We're one of them. But we were assessed the lion's share of the cost of the parking lot, so we're entitled to use it. If any part of the parking lot should be accessible to the only building that actually touches the parking lot, it should be the Market House. And B, we've had a reasonable expectation to have vehicular traffic to our property. Now that Water Street's being narrowed to 13 feet, and there's just an alley that's not going to have any loading zone, we more than ever need to be able to drive vehicles into our backyard. The plan shouldn't have been done this way, and I am sorry that I'm here at this midnight hour, but nothing's been done substantially that would force this not to occur. They could just use the ramp that's at the end of the parking lot, and we would like truck traffic to come in there without having to remove this stuff. And I'm begging the alderman and the mayor, and when he returns, the city attorney, to put our heads together, maybe meet with me so we could come up with a plan so that I can continue to try to do something to keep the Market House getting toward the fixed-up point where it will be beautiful enough that it will be a credit to the town instead of a dilapidated building. I've fixed everything I could with every dime I could make over the years, and it's hard to fix a municipal building. If you look at the library, I don't know how many million the city spent on the library. We're bigger than the library and needed a lot more work. There's a lot more to us than the library. I would appreciate some help. And I don't know who to go to. You're the representatives for the city, and this is a community building. This is an important historical building. It shouldn't be treated this terribly. And I'm telling you that the way this design was done by Delta has put walls at the end of the stairway by Linear Park so that there's no access. It's as if there was some malicious plan to cut our access to the world. And that is not a reasonable thing to do when the building was the most accessible building in the history of Oswego. The Market House was an open-air market. It was court, jail, sheriff, post office in 1836 and 7 and onward until they built the one that they used after that. It has many uses historically, and it should be treated with more respect than this design calls for. This zigzag railings that are in the highest elevation of the parking lot to force the most ramp possible to be used is deleterious to the Market House. It's harmful to us. And I want some help, and I'm asking you for some help. I don't want to go sell my house, live in a tent, and hire a lawyer to try to litigate something that really shouldn't have been done in the first place. Thank you for the time.
You? Would anyone else, that's the last person signed up, would anyone else like to speak? Miles, you want to let them go and then we'll finish up with you? Yep.
Hi, I'm Valerie Donstar, and I'm representing the tree stewards and the Oswego Tree Advisory Board today. And I just want to say Happy Earth Day to everybody. And this Friday is Arbor Day in New York State. To celebrate, we're going to plant some new trees, and our ceremony is going to be in West Park, Franklin Square. And in the evening, that's Friday, at 6:30 in this room, we're going to hear a New York State forester speak about the emerald ash borer. And it's all free, so I hope you can all come.
Miles?
I have to give you a little compliment here, Phil. You can't be perfect, you know what I'm saying? You're always going to have somebody detracting. But I have to admit that you're one of the better mayors we've had in a long time around here. And I'd like to name the class that was around here that wouldn't speak to me too often either. Anyway, I have never seen so much activity in a city since they built that Midtown Plaza back there in the 60s, I think it was, because I wasn't here. I was somewhere else overseas, okay? I don't remember any of that. You've done a fine job as far as I'm concerned. You're not going to please everybody, Mr. Mayor. You're not going to please everybody. He's had opportunities. He's had them. You just got to open the books up.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? All right, seeing none, I'm going to close public session, and the regular meeting starts in about 1 minute. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, please call the roll.
His Honor the Mayor.
Here.
Councilor McBrady.
Here.
Councilor DeMassey.
Here.
Councilor Hill.
Here.
Councilor Wilmot.
Here.
Councilor Gosick.
Here.
Councilor Tesorio.
Here.
Councilor Cordino.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. Under the mayor's report, I have one proclamation I'd like to read, and it talks about Arbor Day. And I wanted to invite the public to the official tree planting this Friday in Franklin Square. Is it 2 o'clock? I'm coming over. We're doing that? 2 o'clock? Great. And I'll read this proclamation declaring April 26th Arbor Day in the city of Oswego, and then we'll have the tree board come up for a photo. Arbor Day, April 26, 2019, whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products, and whereas trees in the city of Oswego increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, stormwater processing, and graceful beauty for generations, and whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal, therefore I, William J. Barlow, Jr., Mayor of the City of Oswego, do hereby proclaim April 26, 2019 as Arbor Day in the City of Oswego, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands in future. I urge all citizens to gladden the heart and to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Dated April 26, 2019. And if the tree board wants to come join me for a photo, we'll do that. That's all under the mayor's report. Any of the councilors have anything to add? Seeing none, will clerk please call resolution 143.
Approved minutes, Common Council meeting held April 8th, 2019.
Councilor Cordino, Councilor Tesorario, any comments? Clerk please call the roll.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk please call resolution 144.
Appoint Commissioner of Deeds.
Councilor DeMassey, Councilor Gosick, any comments? Clerk please call the roll.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk please call resolution 145.
Approve use of public space Lois O'Connor, owner of single-family dwelling located at 94 West Schuyler Street, in order to install a new front porch and step.
Councilor McBrady, Councilor Wilmot, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 146.
Motion to rescind Resolution Number 412 dated November 26, 2018.
Counselor DeMassey, Counselor McBrady, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 148,
147.
147.
Approve use of public space, Anthony Paul Dean, owner of commercial property located at 197 through 203 West First Street, in order to place an A-frame sign.
Counselor Gozick, Counselor McBrady, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 148.
Approve use of city properties, Elam Grace Church, in order to host a service, Oswego event on Saturday, May 11th, 2019.
Counselor McBrady, Counselor Gozick, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 149.
Approve use of public space, the Connection Point, in order to hold an outdoor prayer initiative in recognition of the National Day of Prayer.
Counselor Corradino, Counselor Wilmot, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 150.
Approve use of public space, New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, in order to place a small chest freezer at Wright's Landing during the months of April through September.
Counselor DeMassey, Counselor McBrady, any comments? Counselor Tesario.
Yes, Commissioner, that will be locked, correct? By law, it has to be, right? Thank you.
That it? Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 151.
Approve use of Brightbeck Park for wedding ceremony to be held on Saturday, August 24th, 2019.
Counselor Gozick, Counselor McBrady, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 152.
Approve use of Washington Square Park by the Oswego Federal Credit Union in order to host movies in the park.
Counselor Tesario, Counselor Gozick, any comments? Will clerk please call the roll?
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 153.
Approve use of public space, Mary Kay Stone, on behalf of the Friends of Ford, Ontario, in order to host the Madeline Festival to be held on Saturday, June 1st, 2019.
Counselor Gozick, Counselor Wilmot, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 154.
Approve solid waste license for the year 2019.
Counselor Wilmot, Counselor DeMassey, any comments? Will clerk please call the roll?
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Resolution passes
Will
7-0.
clerk please call Resolution 155?
Approved bid submitted for the purchase of a mid-mount aerial apparatus and additional firefighting equipment, and further authorize City Chamberlain to advance current funds to pay for same.
Counselor Corradino, Counselor Tesario, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Tesario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 156.
Approve Kennedy Valve as the preferred supplier for the purchase of fire hydrants.
Counselor Corradino, Counselor McBrady, any comments? Councilor Testorario.
I think this is a good thing. We're going to standardize what we have in the city instead of 5 or 6 different fire hydrants that we have to supply parts for all of them. We'll eventually get to a standardized service, which is going to make it a lot easier for the DPW to not only stock the parts, but to repair them, because they'll all be the same. So this is a good thing. That's all I have to say.
Great. Any other comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Testorio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 157.
Authorize Onondaga County Purchasing to solicit a request for proposals for fish cleaning services for the city of Oswego.
Counselor DeMassey, Counselor Testorario. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Testorio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Will Clerk, please call Resolution 158.
Authorize the city chamberlain to complete a budget amendment to the water fund account and the snow removal account.
Counselor Cordino, Counselor Gosick. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Testorio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 159.
Authorize the city chamberlain to advance funds to the disaster recovery account.
Counselor McBrearty, Counselor Testorario. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Testorio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 160.
Waive rules of the Common Council to present resolutions number 161 through 164 from the floor without committee consideration.
Counselor Gosick, Counselor Cordino. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Testorio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 161.
Approve stipulation settlement regarding real property litigation for a property located at 140 East 13th Street.
Counselor DeMassey, Counselor McBrearty. Since these are all waived the rules, I don't think any of them are really major items, but I'll try to talk to each one. This one is to just settle on a tax matter between the Holiday Inn and the city that we've been negotiating for quite some time. That's it. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Testorio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 162.
Authorize city attorney to sign settlement agreement and general release, and further authorize city chamberlain to make payment for said claim, McLaughlin versus City of Oswego.
Counselor Cordino, Counselor DeMassey. This is a claim where the woman hurt her right foot at the swimming pool. It's a claim for $369. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Testorio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 163.
Approve sale of property located at 104 East 1st Street.
Counselor DeMassey, Counselor Tesorario. This is to sell the parking lot that surrounds the Ed Center, which was formerly the Education Center. It's the parking lot that goes around that building. Pathfinder Bank owns it. We're selling the parking lot to Pathfinder Bank. The previous arrangement was the school district was in the building. The city still owned the parking lot, and the school district would maintain it. We would just prefer, now that the Pathfinder Bank is actually paying taxes on the building and totally renovating the building, we think it's smart to just sell the parking lot, because it only, number one, increases the assessment, increases the value, and helps them find businesses to actually occupy the place. So we're selling that parking lot to them for $1,000. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Teserio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Will clerk please call Resolution 164?
Approved bid submitted for the purchase of coarse aggregate, stone, and limestone.
Counselor Gozick, Counselor Corradino. This is a resolution so we're compliant with Onondaga County's purchasing policy. Instead of buying these materials on a whim at the last minute through whatever vendor we can get them from, we actually bid each individual material. So for instance, we bid how much stone we'll have to buy all year. We bid how much gravel we may have to buy all year for our various projects. Why I took this off the floor now is because we're starting our projects, actually already started our projects where we need this material, and with next week being an off week, I didn't want to wait 3 more weeks, so we're awarding the bids to the bidders, and these materials really is for the improvements we're doing to the marina this summer, finishing up Harbor Trail and the river dock, and a little bit at the handicap accessible park. Any comments? Councilor Teserio.
I'm just a little surprised at the price difference between the bidders. I mean, we've got one at $7,625. The next bidder is $90,150.
Well, you're looking at different.
I mean, is that a typo, or is that something? I mean, I'm going across a line item.
You want to look at, if you go down to total price group 2, you want to look at how they're pricing it that way.
Okay. I'm just, anybody else agree with me?
Yeah, I was kind of questioning it myself, the price difference, it's so, they're not even close. I mean, you're still almost $1 million off.
So is the debate, you want to go with the highest one or the lowest one?
No, it's just,
Oh, no, I'm just, apples to apples. I'm just, if you read that across, you'd say to yourself, well, how can one come in with such a low price?
Tom, do you have any insight into why
Yeah.
the lowest one's the lowest one and the highest one's the highest one?
Different prices for each item, and some suppliers have a better price for that. Limestone, some of them have to go to the port and get that, so the price is up on that. So that's why it's awarded to more than one.
You're not awarding one company everything. We're going by commodity.
Okay, all right, I understand that now. I was just,
Some companies have more products that they sell than others.
That's-
Obviously, that number is going to be higher.
That's the whole point of the whole thing, is before we didn't bid by commodity.
all right, thank you.
Now we're actually bidding by, okay, how much are you going to use all year? Well, we're going to use $20,000 in lime, for an example, $20,000 in limestone. Well, before we would say, okay, today we need $3,000 worth, next week we need $1,000 worth, in August we need $1,500 worth. Now we're just saying this is what we need for the year and bid it that way,
Okay.
which is more fair for everybody involved. Any other
Thank-
comments?
No, thank you.
No problem. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Teserio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Any other business to come before the council? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Counselor Cordino, Counselor Teserio. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Teserio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Meeting is adjourned.
So are you going to have time for a kayak ride now?
No, we're not.